Hey there, guys. So, I have taken a very slight detour from my usual monthly series to talk about my thoughts on the 2026 Academy Awards. By the way, my picks and predictions are on my Instagram account, so I will be referring to that when talking about the winners later in the video. I may not be able to encapsulate all my thoughts because it was such a long program, but I'll try my best to talk about everything I can. First of all, I think it's wonderful that Conan is back as the host. He's been my personal favorite talk show host for many years now, and knowing that he was going to be the Oscars host for last year really excited me. Thankfully, he delivered, which is why he was back for this one, and yeah, he knocked it out of the park once again. That opening was genuinely hilarious and really well done. It made me realize that I was once again in good hands with Conan hosting the ceremony. But not only is he absolutely hilarious, it's insane the things he got away with, sneaking the only good opera and ballet joke, a delightful dig at Ted Sarandos, the Caps Lock F1 sequel joke, but the one that left my jaw dropped was the pedophile joke. I am shocked that he was allowed to say that. But it's also lovely that Conan brought up how the world seems like it's all going to shit right now and how the ceremony can be a celebration and a hope for a better tomorrow instead of pretending like everything is fine. Now, the first win of the night was Amy Madigan for Best Supporting Actress in Weapons. I had correctly predicted this. Now, I haven't seen Sentimental Value yet, and though I personally would have liked to see Wunmi or Teyana win this, I'm honestly really happy for Amy. She did give a solid performance as Aunt Gladys, and it's not my personal pick, but it's not an offensive win either. K-pop Demon Hunters winning Best Animated Film was also predictable. I am yet to see Little Amelie, but my personal pick would have been Arco, though I enjoyed Zootopia 2 over Demon Hunters as well. But still, I am very happy for them and their entire team, and though I didn't love that movie, it was certainly really fun and evidently a big deal for today's kids considering how obsessed they are with this movie. So it's a win for them too, and I honestly can't be too mad about that. Frankenstein expectedly won Best Costume, Makeup and Hairstyling, and Production Design, and while I certainly admire Frankenstein's technical craft as awarded by the Oscars, I had some alternative picks of my own from the nomination selection. I would have given Costume and Makeup to Sinners and Production Design to Marty Supreme. But again, these aren't offensive wins, they are almost boring picks, but it's not that bad. Now, for the first ever award for the new category Best Casting, I did not know how to accurately predict this one considering it's the first ever time this category has been made. Still, I went with my gut and predicted Marty Supreme. Though all the nominations are really genuinely stellar, there was just something about Marty Supreme and the variety of faces we saw in that movie that felt unique. But I was wrong, as the award went to Cassandra Kulukundis for One Battle After Another. But this is also a really solid pick if I'm being honest. If you manage to find and cast Chase Infinity, you really do deserve an Oscar. Now, out of the 24 categories this season, I only predicted 23 of them, leaving out live action short film because I hadn't seen any of them, plus I genuinely had no clue as to who would win. Surprisingly though, it was a tie, which was pretty cool because two films got awarded. I might check them out later one day. As for supporting actor, Sean Penn expectedly won, and this is a win I can get behind because he really was that good in One Battle After Another, but I personally would have liked to see Delroy Lindo win this one. Every nominee is deserving to be on this list, but Delroy probably gives my favorite performance in Sinners, and it's finally his time. Plus, Sean Penn already has 2 Oscars, and he didn't even bother to show up for this one, so it would have been wonderful to see Delroy give a speech. Not a win that I'm upset about at all, but the possibility seems wasted. As for both screenplay wins, I predicted them both correctly with PTA winning for adapted screenplay and Coogler winning for original screenplay. Now, not only were these two my predictions, but also my picks. Plus, it was just wonderful to see these two masters finally win their first ever Oscar. They delivered two of my favorite films from last year, and seeing them getting recognized for their writing just felt right. Plus, Ryan talking about how much he loves his cast and crew, his wife and kids was wholesome, and PTA talking about how One Battle is an apology to his children for the mess his generation has left us with perfectly encapsulates what the film is about. Avatar Fire and Ash unsurprisingly won Best VFX. Yes, it's not shocking at all, it could be considered a boring pick, but the Avatar films really are the best in the world when it comes to VFX. Not only is the VFX breathtakingly good, it also pushes the boundaries of the technology forward and carves a path for everyone else to reach that point. So yeah, it's expected, but it's also completely deserving. I haven't seen either documentary nominations, but I feel the speech for Best Documentary Feature winner Mr. Nobody Against Putin was really important as it perfectly captures the anxieties of our world today. Sinners won original score as I picked and predicted, with Ludwig Göransson winning his third Oscar. Once again, it could be considered a basic pick, but he really is that damn good. Man just turns out classic after classic, and I honestly really can't wait to hear his work in The Odyssey this year. F1 won Best Sound at the Oscars. This, I guess, was a basic pick. I'm not too mad about it though. Not to discredit the work of the artist, of course. I literally just rewatched F1 for the fifth time in IMAX last night and it sounded incredible. But I wish the award went to a more interesting film. Maybe Sirat, though I'm yet to see that one. But in a surprising turn of events, One Battle won Best Editing. Now, it may not be too shocking, considering a Best Picture winner almost always wins editing as well, but I really thought that F1 would win sound and editing. Guess I was only right about the first one. Either way, this was a win that I was glad to be wrong about. Sinners won Best Cinematography, and this was also a deserved win. It really is one of the most beautifully shot films of last year, and it was wonderful to see Autumn Durald Arkopa win the award. It's really messed up how she is the first ever woman to win Best Cinematographer in the history of the Oscars, but hopefully this changes moving forward, starting with her. Sentimental Value won Best International Picture as I predicted. Sadly, the only film I have seen from this category as of yet is The Secret Agent, and I love that movie, but I'm sure I will adore Sentimental Value too whenever I get to see it. Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters won Best Original Song, and honestly, this was a prediction I was sad to get right. No shade to K-pop Demon Hunters, I really like that movie and its songs. Golden is really catchy, but in a category where I Lied to You from Sinners is there really shouldn't be any other winner. It was my favorite scene in a movie last year, and it most definitely deserved the award in my opinion. PTA finally won Best Director, an award he deserved eons ago, but also rightfully deserves for One Battle. Part of me was hoping that Coogler would win this, but Coogler does have a longer career ahead of him, whereas PTA has been creating masterpieces for decades now and still manages to do so. It felt right to finally see him win this. But in the most shocking turn of events, Michael B. Jordan won Best Lead Actor. I say shocking because I was most certain that Timothée Chalamet was going to win this. I did not entirely buy the whole tide turning on Michael's favor due to Timmy's ballet and opera statement thing, because the voting had happened way before the outrage began. Plus, it just felt like Timmy's year, everything seemed to be in his favor. It also seemed like the right role for him to win. I personally think that Marty is Timothy's best role, and though he's given many great roles, this seemed to be his moment. So seeing Michael B. Jordan win was really a shocker. I am not at all mad though. He really did give a phenomenal performance in Sinners as Smoke and Stack. I would also say that it is his best role. But apart from predicting Timmy, I had picked him too because I still feel like it was his award to win. Either way, I am really happy for Michael B. He gave a great speech and I can't wait to see what he does next. Jessie Buckley won Best Lead Actress. No surprises there. She was great and she deservedly won. Her speech too was wonderful. Really happy to see her get her flowers. She really is one of the best working today. And ultimately, Best Picture was won by One Battle After Another. Though personally, I like Sinners just a tad bit more. I really can't get upset over this win. It's completely deserved as it really is the best movie of last year. No surprises nor any complaints there. This was a pretty solid way to end the night. When speaking about the non-award stuff, I really dug the Sinners I Lied to You performance on stage. Miles Caton is a generational talent to behold and I cannot wait to see his future work. Seeing Chris Evans and RDJ back together for a brief bit felt pretty nice. Though their jokes went on for way too long, it took me back to the good old days when I loved the MCU. F1 winning something, but Marty Supreme going home with 0 wins definitely feels wrong, and Conan continued to deliver on multiple gags. I may not be able to list all of them because there were so many, but another dig at Netflix's second screen viewing model with Sterling K. Brown, mocking how people watch movies vertically on their phones, and the absolutely hilarious gag about how Adrian Brody's speech went on for way too long last year absolutely ended me. Sometimes I was wondering about what the hell I was seeing on my screen, and that final gag was way too good. But still, the way Conan handled even the chaotic parts of the show was really admirable. Will Arnett speaking out against AI was cool, and I now have even more love and respect for Javier Bardem. What he said is probably going to get edited out when it comes out online, but it's great to see a celebrity with a spine actively speaking up for the injustices happening in the world right now. But the main qualm I had with the ceremony is how the winners kept on getting cut off mid speeches. Obviously, the big contenders got to speak for as long as they wanted to, and that's fine. But the lesser known categories or the non American winners were rudely interrupted during their speeches, and it genuinely pissed me off, for it was incredibly disrespectful. I don't understand why the show allows for so many unfunny gags and bits to extend for so long, but the winners don't get proper time to give their speeches. This was easily the worst part about the ceremony, and I really hope they fix that next year onwards, because frankly, these artists deserve so much better. But yeah, this wasn't at all a bad Oscar ceremony. Out of the 23 categories I predicted, I got 17 right, so 73% accuracy ain't that bad, especially when I wasn't too sure of some of the predictions. Obviously, there were many snubs and certain wins I personally did not agree with, but I never take the Oscars too seriously to be upset about any of that. I tune in every year because it's wonderful to see these artists and creators be recognized for their work, to remind myself of just how much we need the arts in our life to not just distract ourselves from the real world, but to help process it. And now that award season is over, I can focus on what really matters, seeing Project Hail Mary in IMAX. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you guys thought of the Oscars, about the wins and the losses. I'd love to talk to you about it in the comment section below. And until next time, I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.